Yo, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Fahim Mushi. I'm a vocal coach, voice teacher, and also a singer. And today guys, by extreme popular demand, I'm gonna be reacting and analyzing to this amazing vocalist that I get to know the other day. Yes, I'm talking about Henk Poort, okay? Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Sound of Silence, Beste Zangers 2019, okay? Got a lot of requests for this one, guys. And I want to appreciate all the positivity and the feedback that you guys gave me on my last video, okay? So thank you for that, okay? Amazing opera singer, okay? Amazing opera singer. Wow, his tone, beautiful, rock, nice and rich, resonant tone. I just love his voice so much. Like I'm a huge fan already. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in love with this guy, okay? I don't care what you guys have to say, but I am in love with this man. All right. So I have a little bit of announcement to make. So a lot of y'all told me to fix my audio. So I didn't understand what it means. But then I actually played my own video from my computer because I used to play it from my phone, and I didn't hear anything different, to be honest, because there was no bass. You cannot capture or hear bass from your cell phone, right? Because it doesn't have the woofer. So I played my videos from my computer and compared it with other reaction videos, and then I noticed that, holy shit, there's literally no bass here. The audio is extremely shitty. And I felt like an idiot. I'm like, oh my god, so what seems to be the issue? Like I gotta do mic here and whatnot, everything's going well. What seems to be the issue? So I opened my software, which is OBS Studio that I use here for my reaction analysis video, and the desktop audio was muted all this time. So I turned it on, just at the volume so that it doesn't get super loud, and now the audio, I can hear the bass and everything. It's almost like I'm hearing the studio version or the original recording. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the newer audio quality, but I want to thank you all to those people who commented about the audio. Okay, I really appreciate that. I did get comments on this in my other reaction type videos, but it wasn't that much, so like I never really looked into it. I just thought that maybe they were, you know, messing around or hating, but no, you guys were actually right, and I want to formally apologize to y'all. Okay, so yeah, that was the announcement. And so before we get started though, if you guys are new here, be sure to like this video if you guys are already enjoying my content, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that kind of notification bell, because I will try to upload videos like this, you know, every single day, every other day, depending on my schedule. My goal in this channel is to give, you know, very good analysis, in-depth analysis of the singer, what they're doing, what kind of vowels they're using, you know, stuff like that. So if you guys enjoyed that, make sure you guys subscribe, okay? And so I have social medias as well, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, okay? I'm gonna attach it probably here, so be sure to go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested to follow me there. If you guys are interested to improve your singing and whatnot, you want to book a lesson or you want to get your voice critiqued, then go ahead, check out my links, my 5 links in the description, where you can go ahead and book a lesson and get your voice critiqued. Now, with that all being said, let's go ahead and react and analyze this video and see what Henk Poort brought to the table. The key of the song is in F minor.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk with you again.
Oh, love that vibrato on the G sharp too.
Because a vision softly creeping.
So, okay, so apologies for the pause. Just want to say a few things here. So you can see that he's starting at an F2. That is a very low note even for a male singer. I mean, unless you're a bass or a baritone, right? For tenors, it's quite a low note. So for instance, I'm a tenor, so I have to go into my vocal fry register. Hello, right? It's not the same tonality as he's doing, because if I try to go, it doesn't get anywhere, because the chest voice, my chest voice will not go as low as, let's say, his. So I have to get into my vocal fry register per se. But he, on the other hand, he's pulling down his chest voice all the way down to an F2, and is singing with that, like, hello darkness, and he's singing with that, okay? He's not getting into his vocal fry register, which is interesting because there are different modes. If you guys understand mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Mode 0 is basically vocal fry, mode 1, M1 is chest voice, mode 2 or M2 is basically head voice or falsetto, and mode 3 is whistle register. So he's singing in M1 down there, and it sounds really good, okay? Very relaxed, nice and beautiful sound. He's adding a little bit of breathy quality to it. So really good, really good. All right, let's go ahead and continue and see what happens.
Left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
That is beautiful, okay? I love how he softened his voice as it went a little higher. He was not like, la, 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 la. Like, he was not doing that, okay? Because he's just starting to sing the song. And if you were to do something like that at the beginning of any song for that matter, it's just gonna sound awful. Unless that song really calls for an intensity like, 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 in the beginning of the song. Clearly he's not doing that. He's being very soft and subtle, very vulnerable, very emotional. I can definitely feel it, man. I can feel it right here. So he's doing a brilliant job. Really good, really good. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, let me pause here for a second, okay? I want to apologize for the pauses. I know some of you guys don't appreciate that, but hey, this is an analysis video as well, and I have to give my analysis from a voice teacher's perspective, right? But, so lots of things are happening here. So first of all, so I've heard another cover. I mean, you guys probably already know. It's by the vocalist from the band Disturbed, and he was singing one key higher, and he had a sort of similar approach. As to this part of the song where the kind of high notes are kind of coming in. It's almost like a shifting gear. He's kind of doing that, but not as apparent as Draven did, or the lead vocalist of Disturbed, right? He's actually getting a little louder here, but raising his larynx slightly. So you may not necessarily hear that kind of operatic timbre as he sings the higher notes like F4, G sharp 4, G4. But let's go ahead and see if I'm right or wrong. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna get into a more neutral kind of laryngeal position, okay? As opposed to kind of like that, okay? So let's go ahead and see.
1,000 people, maybe more.
Okay, has that lower larynx a little bit.
People talking without speaking.
Yeah, very contemporary sound.
People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share.
Oh my god.
And no one dare.
Okay, what I really liked is that he didn't over darken the sound at the top, like I said earlier, right? But he didn't sort of fully went into a kind of contemporary sound, if I'm being honest. So let's go back a little bit, okay? I actually want to see what's up with this part.
People hearing without.
Like you can hear the people hearing without. Like it has a little bit of more contemporary sound to it. You can hear that.
Listening.
And then listening, you can see his tongue is retracted. Listening. My tongue is retracted. If I keep it forward, it will automatically brighten the sound. Now I can still do a darker sound by keeping the tip of my tongue behind the bottom tip. Right? But these are all choices, okay? These are all very subtle differences, subtle nuances that you do modify into for getting these different types of sound. But because he's an opera trained singer and he's an opera singer, they usually retract the tongue, especially for vowels like E vowel, A, even A vowel sometimes, okay? Their tongue doesn't rest at behind the bottom teeth per se, okay? So really good. He's like kind of playing around with the timbre here. Like sometimes it gets a little more contemporary, sometimes it gets back to the sort of home base for him, which is more opera, right? So really good, really good. You get people, like that's a little bit covered sound, right? More lower larynx, more darker sound. Nice. And I love that voices. Sound the voices. He's actually still maintaining that covered. It's not opening up, because if I open up voices, it would get into that. Okay, so you can hear the difference. Says, sis. Do you hear the difference? One is more open, one is more closed, and he's kind of staying in that closed position. So let's have a listen again. Beautiful. Nice. Now that word sound, that was an interesting one, because if you go back and observe, it's very contemporary, it's very sort of neutral larynx, right? It sounds very conversational, but that vibrato is a very opera vibrato, because you can see the slow, kind of slow, wide oscillated vibrato, right? Kind of like that. Beautiful, amazing. Now he's adding distortion on that, okay? So he's maintaining that similar spot or similar vocal track placement, or shaping his vocal track in that way, but is engaging his false now, okay? As well as some a little bit of a retinoid cartilage vibrating. You can hear that kind of whoa, that kind of sound kicking in there, which is really cool.
Silence like a cancer grows.
Amazing. Wow. And one of the things I really like is that he's just sitting there. He's not lifting his chin or doing anything like that, embracing himself. He's just sitting like that and just singing the song. He's looking straight at the camera. You can see his face nice and very horizontal with the floor. He's opening his mouth like that, as opposed to his jaw dropping down, which is really good. Something you guys should take point on if you're a singer. You want to open the mouth this way, not this way, okay? So that's just try that out for the high notes. You'll see a huge difference there. But let's go. Wow. I love that distortion. Wow. Wow. So I have to pause once again. So now he's still adding distortion, but you can see the song is kind of getting into that climax point more and more. We're getting near the end of the song. You can hear him adding more grit, more rasp, more distortion, right? And to get that type of distortion, obviously he has to lean a little bit more into the support, gotta engage that diaphragm, your lower back, your obliques and whatnot. He's really leaning into there, because if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't support the sound properly, it's gonna cause strain, and then you might, end up getting hoarse per se if you continue to sing that way, for instance. So yeah, really good. His technique, spot on. Everything he's doing is spot on, impeccable, okay? Just so you guys know. So yeah, good stuff. Wow. Wow. I love that part where he took that quick breath. Have a listen. Let me run back a little bit. That was a very smart choice, because usually what happens is when you're singing a phrase in the high note for a long time, you will run out of air. So a good example would be the song Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. If you're singing that song, there's a continuous G-sharp phrasing. And if you don't take the breaths in the right spot that you get in this phrase, then you might end up running out of air. And then you will end up pushing or straining in that part. So you can see that he takes a kind of like a quick gasp breath. You see that? No. And then he takes that breath. Beautiful. Oof, oof. Oh my God. Oof.
a silence.
And back to the soft whispery tone. Beautiful. Breathy tone. Janssen is impressed. Mrs. Janssen. Wow. That was so good. I gotta say, man, that was... Alright. I think that's the outro of the song. Okay. So very emotional performance, very strong, robust vocals right there, my friends. Really enjoyed this. So let me go ahead and first wrap this video up, and then I'll give you guys a little bit of more analysis and some personal thoughts. Alright guys, alright. So wow, what an epic performance by Henk Poort. Such a phenomenal singer, right? I mean, wow. Listen for those vocals, man. Amazing. Wow. So let's talk about, what he did throughout the song. So he started off with this kind of light chest voice. He stretched his chest voice down to an F2. And he maintained that sort of soft, supple quality as he's singing. And, as he went higher, he got a little bit softer. And then, he went back down to the lower note per se. And then when that kind of part came, the part that I talked about, when I mentioned Disturbed, so it's almost like he's shifting to a different gear because he knows now he have to go higher. Now, obviously, he's an opera singer. He could have kept that this nice covered sound in the higher part, but he didn't do that, okay? He went a little bit more contemporary with certain vowels, and then he did cover certain vowels as well. So like he was kind of like playing around with that, okay? Which was really nice. And at the top note, the G♯4 in this case, he was using mostly closed vowels, okay? He was slightly covering the vowels and using closed vowels rather than open vowels. So I already demonstrated the difference between a closed A and an open A vowel, right? You can hear the difference. And as you go higher, the difference becomes more apparent, okay? Like if I do it A, you will not hear that much of a difference. But let's say if I do it high, you can hear significant difference. Right? You can hear a difference there. But yeah, so that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. I loved his body posture. Like he's just sitting there like this, maintaining that good posture. He's not like that, or like not too upright as well. Like he's just in this kind of neutral position where he can really dig into the support from this position. He's looking straight into the camera and whatnot, really maintaining this position, and he was opening his mouth like that. And he didn't really open his mouth that big because he was kind of using more of like conversational speech, like closed vowels mostly. That's why his mouth, he wasn't doing anything like that. So he wasn't belting essentially, but that was still a very powerful sound. Okay, so don't get me wrong. You can still lean quite heavy with the closed vowel if you know what you're doing. So yeah, that was beautiful. That was amazing. What else? And I mean, yeah, there was a Floor Janssen, and she was totally impressed. I mean, you can see it in her face. And yeah, and the distortion. Okay, let's talk about that for a sec. So the distortion that he was doing, he was playing around with the distortion as well. So if you guys are trying to cover his version and you guys want to do distortion, make sure you first come from a high larynx place, because the low larynx one or the neutral larynx might end up being too throaty. And you might end up damaging your voice if you keep on doing that. I mean, if it hurts, then please stop by all means. Okay, distortions are very extreme sounds, and there are so many varieties in distortion as well. So a good tip for distortion would be, let's say you're singing, many people talking, and you can lean from the twang in a more safely manner and see how that feels. So if you just keep on adding that twang more and more and more, compress more, you'll get the distortion that way. Like say, and you'll get that. Okay, so play around with that if you are completely new with distortion, and see if you can get it, and then eventually sustain the note. See if it, like how it feels there. If it's like really hurting and you feel like you're grinding the tissue as opposed to vibrating the rhythmic cartilage, the cuneiform cartilages, and especially the false folds, if you don't feel like they're vibrating and they're grinding at each other, against each other, then you know that you're doing it incorrectly. Okay, so just be careful with that. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tip with the distortion if you're trying it out. And he was kind of playing around with it. He was like adding a little bit of distortion, more distortion as the song went on in certain words, in certain phrase. So yeah, that was really awesome, guys. Really awesome. I really enjoyed this. Okay, this video is getting too long, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So I really enjoyed it, guys. So thank you for the suggestion. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. So there you go, guys. That's my reaction and my analysis of Henk Poort singing The Sound of Silence on Beste Zangers 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and my in-depth analysis, because if you guys did, make sure to smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And be sure to hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of my reaction and my in-depth analysis, and also my new audio, because I would really like to hear feedback about my audio, okay? And if you guys wanted to do more Henk Poort or Nightwish, whether it's a Floor Jansen, then go ahead, let me know in the comments, and I will try to get them back to you as soon as I can. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.